Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Cyprian Montrope has regained the presidency of the Civil Service Association, CSA. The CSA held its elections on Wednesday. Montrope won the elections by a resounding majority.
Civil servants went to the polls on Wednesday, November 11th to cast their ballots for the candidates of their choosing. This year, all positions were up for elections: President, 3 Vice Presidents, Secretary, Treasurer, Assistant Secretary, Assistant Treasurer, and 3 trustees. When the voting process had ended, it was clear that there was only one winner for the presidency. Cyprian Montrope regained the title by a large majority.
I'm elated that I'm re-elected with such a large majority. What that says to me is that the level of integrity and work that I have placed in the organization is paying off. And the members have seen through that, and that is, I'm assuming, that is why the members would have resoundingly re-elected me with such a large majority. And I must compliment and commend them for that. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank the Almighty for giving me the strength to be able to carry out the mandate granted unto me for the last 2 years, and the mandate He's put before me, which is what I mentioned to the members. 1, to try to sustain employment, their income stability, and the future of work. That is the task ahead, and that is what I intend to carry along with this new executive.
The chairperson of the CSA's Elections Commission, George Raju, gave details of the votes won by the various candidates.
For president, we had a total of 49 votes for Ms. Josephine Farrell, 506 votes for Brother Cyprian Montrope, 15 votes for Sister Cleopatra Anthony, and 52 votes for Sister Yvonne Edwin. For first vice president, we have 75 for Sister Hermina Nichols, 347 for Brother Nikolai Lancico, and 184 for Sister Yvonne Edwin. So Mr. Nikolai Lancico has won by a total of 347 votes for first vice president.
The winning team includes Cyprian Montrope, Nikolai Lancico, Andrew Charles, Ricardo Corsini, Jasmine Suffren, Giselle Warrington, Oliver Lawrence, Bernard Cornebert, and Kim Louis. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The Ministry of Equity, Social Justice, Local Government and Empowerment has launched an investigation into allegations of abuse at the Boys Training Center. The latest string of incidents were unearthed on October 19th on a local talk show.
Minister for Social Justice Leonard Montoute has broken his silence on recent allegations of abuse at the Boys Training Center. The most recent was during a morning talk show where it was alleged that wards were being beaten while staff allegedly victimized. It is not the first time that allegations of abuse were circulating at the institution. All the minister would say was that the matter was being investigated.
Not only that I'm aware, I'm also aware that the ministry is taking action to deal with the situation there. The PS and her officials at the ministry are on top of it and they are dealing with it. I do not want to pontificate at this time. I think that will be inappropriate prior to the outcome of the investigation for me to make any statement to prejudice anything in any way. As minister directly responsible, I have to be very careful that I do not in any way taint the process.
The minister had this assurance for the guardians and parents of the wards entrusted to the state.
We give them the assurance that we will try to ensure that the wards at the center are safe and that they are provided for, and that we do the best in ensuring that we provide the service that is required to the best standard that we can give.
There has been no accusation of any criminal activity. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Underprivileged children in St. Lucia will not be excluded from receiving an education during this COVID-19 pandemic. With the help of their title sponsor Indibet, the St. Lucia Zooks has made their monetary contribution to education in St. Lucia, which will result in the donation of tablets.
During the 2020 CPL, the St. Lucia Zooks had played in exclusive Indibet branded blue jerseys, the color of the flag, in their last 2 round-robin matches. Indibet had agreed to provide $100 for every boundary scored by the St. Lucia Zooks, $150 for every 6 hit by the Zooks, and $200 for every wicket taken by the St. Lucia Zouks in these matches. Indibit had agreed to top up the contribution to $10,000. That money will go to underprivileged children in the form of tablets as they remain away from the classroom due to the COVID-19 pandemic, making the donation was sumo pleasing.
St. Lucia Zouks would like to present on behalf of its partners and sponsor Indibet to the Ministry of Education $10,000. This is specifically to go towards students in need that are suffering somewhat from this pandemic. We'd like to say to the Ministry of Education that we are behind their backs and we are supporting them. Indibet is pleased to be on board, and certainly they look forward to the success of those students.
Education Minister Dr. Gail Rigobert expressed gratitude to the organization for their timely donation.
It gives me great pleasure to express our most profound thanks to the Zouks, St. Lucia Zouks, and Indibet for their generous donation of US $10,000. That gift will come in very handy, especially since it is intended for students who are economically challenged. Given that now we've had to transition to online learning, we know that that will go a long way to lend the necessary assistance to those most in need.
The Education Minister lent her full support to the St. Lucia Zouks and Indibet for their contribution to social development across St. Lucia. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The Bankers Association of St. Lucia donates to its 5th Home for Financial Information Month. The collective group of financial institutions visited the staff and residents of the Cornerstone Humanitarian House in Castries once again, bearing gifts of essential food items and supplies. We have more in this report.
5 homes across the island are now the recipients of months of essential food and grocery items, thanks to the donations of the Bankers Association of St. Lucia. During the month of October, representatives from 11 competing financial institutions journeyed to the Villa St. Joseph Home for the Elderly in Dennery, the St. Lucia Rainbow Children Home, the New Beginnings Transit Home, the Morgouge Club 60 and Adult Daycare Center in Choiseul, and lastly, the Cornerstone Humanitarian House, with a lot more than just warm smiles.
We are very pleased to say that today marks the culmination of financial information for us as a Bankers Association. We are so pleased that Financial Information Month has afforded us the opportunity not only to impact financial literacy as part of our strategy, but also to meet with people in the community, those who are more in need, and to share with them some of the items we can purchase as an association.
Financial Information Month is an annual educational campaign created by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank in 2002. According to local representative of the ECCB, these donations really highlight the humanitarian side of the banking sector.
As you know, Financial Information Month is a time where we seek to educate and empower our people. And this year we are so elated to be a part of it with the Bankers Association of St. Lucia as they contribute to the well-being of the less fortunate in our society.
Representative of the Division of Human Services, Andrea Alcid, says the Cornerstone Humanitarian House has been open to persons who are homeless and destitute for approximately 23 years.
The sole purpose of this institution is really to house persons who are destitute, who don't have family and nowhere to go. We're seeing now the influx of the persons getting older, so we really have a lot of older persons here, and we're very grateful for this beautiful gesture of food items, and we know it's going to go a long way for us, particularly now in the current situation that we're facing.
The Cornerstone Humanitarian House currently accommodates 28 residents. For the month of October 2020, the Bankers Association of St. Lucia made food donations to a total of 5 homes, 2 homes for children and 3 for the elderly.
Stay with us because when we come back, we have a special news feature, sports classics, and the latest weather update.